Hi, everyone. Happy Hmong New Year. Happy Thanksgiving week. We are live for our three-part series, and it is our last episode for this series. But I'm super excited to be here, and I'm excited to even talk to our guest today. Just some logistic. I will just let everyone jump in, give everyone a little bit pause to jump in. I will talk a little bit, but giving you guys a heads up, we are asking questions, right? We are asking questions, so feel free to ask questions for our guest today, directly to her, or if you want to ask this question, feel free to ask this question. We'll do our best to answer it. And any form, maybe we could go back and answer in typing version or text version, right? Or so on. But other than that, welcome to Hmong Hip Hop Heritage. This is a three-part series live discussion about how hip hop culture has reshaped Hmong American lives. And I know there has been conversation about how come we don't speak Hmong. Heads up, we all do speak Hmong. We're choosing to speak a little bit more English right now, just because I know our audience are a mixed audience, and we understand that. And if we do speak Hmong, we'll speak Hmong with a translation. Okay. Other than that, big shout out to our friend Sai for doing the flyer. I always want to give shout out real quick. Shout out to Munch. Munch and Sai. They're a pivotal movement of what we do as well. What else? I also want to let you guys know that Seven Dose will be giving away 3 merchandise items today for free. Question will be asked at the end. One question will be based on Serena, and the other question will be based on Mayder. The other last question, which is the third question, will be based on Serena, which is the talk today. So if you have been a person that's been tuning in for the past 3 conversation and you answer all 3, you get all 3 items, right? It's free, and we'll ship it out to you too as well. And more information will be given to you after this, pretty much. But other than that, let me see to make sure I am okay on my end. Other than that, I'm really excited for our guest today. This is one of my favorite dancers, straight up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna, one of my favorite dancer. I'm not even talking about like female or male, right? It's one of my favorite artists. One person that I've seen that have been creating amazing work in our dance world as well as the artist world, and I'm just so happy she's Hmong too. That's a plus on the top, right? And that's something that I feel like, when I was younger, I only say this: when I was younger and I was coming up and people didn't know I was Hmong, right? And later on they realized I was Hmong, and it's, oh, that's dope. Oh my god, he's Hmong too. He's dope. I was like, shoot, I'm just saying, I'm not dope, but I'm just saying, it's just icing on the top, right? And I think that that's something that I realized with this person is that the Hmong stamp is not even nothing. It's the art and the hard work and the dedication and the artistry that goes into this. And we were talking about, we're just catching up and talking about logistic for this conversation. And she mentioned something, and I was like, oh, I have to write it down. And she said, art is a beautiful way to bring understanding. And I'll have to just say that right now because it's powerful. It is true, and this is what we're doing. We're all artists, and we're just trying to do our best to bring in more understanding in this world. And if you have been following it for a while now, Hmong Hip Hop Heritage is all about just uniting us, bringing us together, educating us as well while we're together, and at the same time progress for something better than what we're doing now, right? And I'm saying that we're not doing great. I'm saying that what we do now matters, but what matters is how we're going to progress for the future. So if anything, I am going to let my brother Villain do the bio, but big shout out to Gary as well. Obviously, Gary's here, B-Boy Integra, all the way from Fresno. Heads up.
What's up, everybody?
Happy Hmong Year. I am in Sacramento. Super excited to be home.
All right.
We're going to have Villain do the bio. Let's go, Bill.
Cool. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, wherever you are at. We appreciate you all for taking your time to be here, and and just to learn more about Shayna and to be here to kind of learn more together. So I appreciate y'all for being here and for tuning in. So tonight's guest, I'm super honored to read her bio. We have Shayna Vu. So Shayna Vu is a Hmong American female artist with roots from Fresno, California. She began her dance training in the Central Valley, mentored by Serena Yang. And we had Serena first episode. And eventually made her way to Cal State Long Beach, where she graduated with a bachelor's degree in sociology. She has performed with several groups, including Immaculate Trait, Common Ground, Sodium Dance Company, and eventually became artistic director of Pac Modern. Pac Modern, represent. She currently dances with Coach Shack LA, a nonprofit 510 hip hop dance organization dedicated to dance education, community empowerment, professional entertainment, and the preservation of hip hop culture. Shayna is a creative and dancer with the intention to cultivate safe and supportive spaces to others to find healing and liberation through movement exploration, creativity, dance, and music. Her work is aimed to connect with human beings and inspire others to be their most authentic, genuine, and unapologetic self. She firmly believes that when we inspire, empower, uplift, and support others to embrace the full and holistic human creative in themselves, we create a more passionate, compassionate, authentic, accepting, and safer society in long term. Long run. But so excited to introduce Shayna Vu. So excited to have her here with us today. And yeah, let's dig a little bit into, with Shayna. So proudly introducing Shayna Vu, y'all.
Let's go. Let's bring Shayna in the house.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome, Shayna.
What's up, Shayna?
Man, where do we
up,
start?
Shayna?
But obviously, we know where we're gonna start. But first of all, thanks for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Thank you guys for
Straight
having
up.
me. Appreciate it.
And thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
closing off our series, of a 3-part series. How you doing, by the way? Just want to double check.
I am in Fresno with family currently, which is great. It's kind of cold here, but it's all good. It feels great to I feel like every time I'm in Fresno, it has a lot to do with like my community here and giving back to my community anytime I come back home. So I think that's something that's really special. But yeah, I'm doing great. A little nervous, but we're good. We're good.
Hey, don't be nervous. I told all our amazing guests prior to this. I told them just be yourself, be authentic, and have fun. And I feel like everything fall into place. And I'll be real with you. Like I grew up with like 6 older siblings that are sisters. You know what I mean? And they're a powerful woman in my life that I feel like now when I think about it, like there's something about. I'll be real. I'm talking about women now, Hmong women and women in general. It's powerful. So like, if anything, you have the power already. So just do yourself. But that means just talk. That's me just gibberish more. But other than that, like prior talking to our guest, Serena, right? We have a Mayder here as well. Something that I realized that I love about our conversation is that at events, right, dance events, we see each other, right? We cross paths multiple times in our life, right? And we talk, we do our best to catch up, but we sometimes talk about dance stuff. You know what I mean? We talk about dance stuff, and we talk about like, okay, who's gonna win? What do you think is win? Or like, how you been? Like, it's moments like that, or like, just sporadic moment, but not in detail about life in general. So that's something that I've been enjoying about these talk, and not just that. The most recent one with Mayder, we talked about how like the jam never end. Right. And that's like something that I want to bring up again. It's like, I feel like for every time I meet you too, you know what I mean, as well, Shayna, our conversation, our life and journey never ended. It just picked up where we left off at, Yes, and so like, even right now, having you on here live talking with us right now, it's as if the conversation never ended. We literally just picked off where we started, we ended off where we started, right?
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
So if anything, man, this is all dedicated to you. So like, we want to learn more about you. Give us your origin story. Like where were you born? How did you start your dance? Like, give us everything. Like, feel free, just give us the story. Like,
It's a complex, long story, but
go for it.
we're gonna go for it. All right. So, I'm actually So I am a first generation Hmong American. Came from a family of 7 kids. So I'm the second youngest, and I had a single mom and an absent kind of dad, and so that's like the origin of my family. And like Serena had said, like you're from refugee parents, right? And that shapes up a lot of your background and who you are and stuff too. But when I first started dancing, I saw my friends do it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I learned off of YouTube, and YouTube was my first teacher. And I actually learned how to be girl at first. So that's why I'm pretty comfortable being on the ground. It's not something that's too scary. It's something that I actually started out learning. And so that was really
I think that's how I knew you first.
Oh, yeah, you did know me at first. You knew me
I think I remember you as a B-girl first. Yeah.
I'm so surprised you remember that because I was so embarrassed. But anywho.
No, I thought you were. Yeah. I thought you were dope, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you.
What was your B-girl name? Did you have a B-girl name?
I didn't have one. I didn't. One never stuck to me, so I'm still waiting on any kind of name. We'll figure it out later on eventually.
Okay.
But I don't B-girl anymore. But yeah, so my first teacher was YouTube, and I just learned off of like how to do the 6-step, how to do the 3-step, and then I just did it by myself all the time, over and over again. And then I had like friends that did it, so we did sessions at garages, and we're like, okay, are you gonna come to the garage? Like, let's go to a session, let's go learn. And it was kind of like kids and friends just having fun with each other. And this was after your guys' generation. Your guys' generation was already like, you guys are popping off. I was kind of just in my own little Fresno community, and like I was in the Clovis Unified School District. So like I think a lot of the kids from that district, Gary knows Fresno and Clovis and all that kind of stuff. I was in Clovis Unified School District. And like,
were you at Clovis East or Clovis High? Because I know
I was
the B-boys
at
at
Clovis West.
Oh, Clovis West.
I was by myself.
Wow.
Yeah, I was by myself trying to learn how to like be girl, and like I had other friends that were in it too, but I think I got really like obsessed with it, and I loved it so much. Like I got really, really passionate, and so sometimes like your friends kind of stop, but you keep going at it. And so I kept going at it, and then I made clubs in middle school and high school where I was like, let's go perform at rallies. Let's go, like, let's learn. Let's create spaces for kids to kind of just dance, and we would battle at lunches. It was really embarrassing. I'm not going to show any videos. There's no videos, thank goodness. And then in freshman year, I joined a dance crew called U1 Dance Crew. And that was where I was like the youngest member, but also the only girl in that crew. So it was kind of like, my mom hated it, obviously. My mom did not want me dancing there. And we would session over at Melody Park. I think do you know what I'm talking about, Gary? You know that crew? You've
yeah,
heard
I
of
know
it
what
before?
you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was a while ago. And so I actually
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I was the little girl that would dance with them, if you ever remember that. But yeah, so that was really cool. And then I met Serena in, I think, 2012, I believe, where she kind of taught me about choreography and kind of like just basically like the collegiate dance scene over in SoCal. And when I was little, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. I want to dance with them. I want to learn from them. They're all like my superheroes. And when I met Serena, I was like, oh my goodness, she was on GRV. What? And I loved GRV during that time too. And so learning from her was really awesome. She also taught me how to be a better teacher, how to be an instructor and stuff. So shout out to your mentors that like pick you up along the way. And she, so she was really awesome. Like she was such a huge key person when I was growing up because, like I said, like my mom tried so hard to keep me from it. And Serena actually talked to my mom and was like, oh yeah, we're just dancing. Don't worry about it. And I think my mom felt a little more comfortable because of Serena. But before, like my parents were repressing the heck out of dance in my life. And so I was just trying to find like little pockets of time or little pockets of spaces that I was actually able to dance in. So shout out to Serena for that for sure. And then whenever I could, I would go to UC Merced. So this is like the Central Valley, because in the Central Valley, there's not a lot of dancing there. Like there's not a lot of resources you have. It's kind of just whatever communities you can find. And so UC Merced was like the closest thing that like got to choreographers, right? And they flew choreographers in. And shout out to Obi and Danny. They were like community leaders when they were college students, bringing in these resources for dancers. Like, yeah, UC Merced was amazing. And I'm so grateful that they had created that kind of space for Central Valley because it really did help our communities be better dancers and movers. And I think that's where I got a lot of my like leadership skills from too. Because these were leaders.
Are you talking about their like hip hop movement club out there, UC Merced?
It was called Division Workshops back then. They
Okay.
still do have like a coalition of dance teams, I believe. But like when I was in high school, they would welcome me over there, and that was super awesome. Like I was so grateful for that. And then from there, I went to I graduated college. I told my mom, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go get a degree. I swear I'm gonna focus so hard in school." Actually, first week there, I was trying to look for any dance thing possible. I was just like, I just want to dance. I just want to like go figure out like, you know, I just wanted to move. And I think I just wanted to be safe in a space without my parents telling me, you got to come home. You got to like, you know, take care of school, XYZ, XYZ. And I'm like, Mom, you know, I'm going to take care of it. You know that. But yeah, so that's kind of like leading up to where I am today, where I did join Common Ground. I did join Pack Modern for a couple of years as well. And now I'm on Culture Shock. And that's a brief overview of my crazy story, but it was like one of a lot of like dancing by myself and learning how to self-teach up until I'm free enough to dance wherever the heck I want to. So I think when like people often see me in certain spaces are always like, where did you come from? And I'm like, I literally danced in my room my whole life because my parents have told me like, you can't do this, don't do this. So that's where I'm at now. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's interesting to know that like even in high school, like I remember when I was in high school, like Merced was like a new college. Like you see Merced. So I guess my question right now, I'm curious. I want to know more about it. Like, how was it? How was it that it was like during that time for you? Was still a new college for you. Even though you, well, I mean, you didn't go attend, but as a high school student going there, how was the experience like with the scene during that time?
That was not a b-boy scene per se.
Yeah,
it was definitely it was a like choreography kind of scene.
Gotcha.
But it was so like family oriented because there's not a lot of people, you know, and so like any kind of person that came in, no matter what you look like, no matter like what you repped or where you're from, they're like, I'm happy you're here. Thank you for showing up. And that's like honestly where I got a lot of my like community values from. Because they were just very welcoming and opening. They've like flown Anthony Lee out there. They were flying like Sora. They're flying like all these different dancers and stuff too, just to share in those spaces. And you're sharing it in a space where like people don't have resources to learn from these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, and I got to even like,
was that
like spend the night? What's that?
Was that like a club or like a organization?
It was an organization. And I believe it lasted for around like 3 years, but I was just lucky enough to stick around for it and like be there during that time. And it was headed by, like I said, like leaders that were like college students that were so passionate about like spreading dance knowledge to the Central Valley. And like, that is the same thing with Immaculate Trait. Like they're so passionate about spreading knowledge to the next generation of dancers and making sure it doesn't die. And so it's just, I was really lucky to be around those community leaders where like, I didn't have very many resources, but these people were out here like working day in and day out, getting these people here and like bettering their communities too. And so, yeah, they were awesome. UC Merced was awesome. Obi, like I said, shout out to Obi and Danny. Shout out to Serena and Jadrian. They're super awesome and like bringing those resources to people that like, I feel like I was underprivileged youth and they literally put that there for underprivileged youth too. You know what I mean? And like they created that space. And so I was lucky enough to have those leaders in front of me looking at them being like, wow, I want to be like you guys one day. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. How was I'm curious too. I mean, how was the you know, when you started breaking, like, you know, when you started breaking, how was that experience for you as a B girl during that time?
It was hard.
Was it hard? Yeah.
I think like at first I was also really like naive to it too. I was like, I'm just trying to be girl right now. And I'm just trying to like get down with my friends and stuff. But I think there's always that like knowledge that you're a girl. You know what I mean? That like, and you have to prove that you're not just going in because you're a girl. You're going in because you really are like down to learn and everything. And so I think that like I feel like I was always being tested. I eventually got out of it because there were so many b-boys and my mom was so against it and she was just like, I don't want you being around too many b-boys, and like she hated it, you know. And so so I had to step away from it, but it would have been cool to be in like a studio space where I learned how to do, like how to be a girl, and that like my mom acknowledged that, you know, you can learn how to be a girl, not in necessarily a space of like just at Melody Park sessioning with guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a challenge. Definitely a challenge. Yeah.
So speaking on that, like, so it sounded like it was dance itself was never like something that was accepted in your family, I'm assuming. But I do know your sister's an amazing singer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, so art has to be part of your family somewhere. But now I'm curious to know, like, now we're going to that point where like parental support. Cause I know in our Hmong community, at least I struggle with parent support too, growing up, right? Especially with like me doing what I'm doing, pursuing what I'm doing, and my mom and dad obviously part want me to do some other stuff, right? That they think that is successful, which it is successful, but they don't know that this artistic realm or whatever you just like to do sometime can be beneficial in the long run as well, or as a something, right? So let me ask you this: like, how was that for you? Like, was there? I know there were struggles, so let me ask you, like, how it to me, I feel like my mom and dad still tell me to stop dancing, right? But I know they tell me to stop dancing only because they love me as a son and they want to make sure I'm okay, right? But I know they love me dancing. I can see that now. But like, let me ask you. I guess the question now for you is that like, when you were younger and you were dancing, like, was there a point in your life where you feel like you kind of figure out how to kind of educate them, right? Maybe educate them or showcase what you do, or prove to them that, hey, mom, dad, this is actually not a bad thing. You know, I know for sure, as I get this question a lot with my young generation dancer, is that parents support, right? And I know you as such a amazing dancer probably have answers to that too as well. And you know, I just want to ask that.
Yeah, no, it's so hard. I think like growing up, especially, I felt like I was always splitting my identity. Like you would have to go to school and be a student. You go to home and you have to be a daughter, and then you go to like this dance space and you're limited on time and you're like, oh crap, my mom wants me to be home. You go back home and all you're thinking about is dance, and then you go back to school and all you're thinking about is dance still, right? And I think it's definitely like a painful experience to go through, to know that like your parents, they don't accept at that time being like who you are and what like gets you excited, what gets you passionate, what gets you like up in the morning, you know? But I think, have I found a way to educate them? That's a good one. I don't think I have yet. I think I'm getting to a point where I'm just like, this is just who I am and you have to accept it. And like, and it's like, I guess really showing them like this thing that I love doing so much, like, first off, I think it starts with being unapologetic about it and really knowing that that's who you are. Like if you tap your foot while like listening to something, if you're like always itching to get like a move in, you're a dancer. Like there's no denying that. There's no denying. And as much as you want to deny it, it's always going to like find its way to you. And I think that's something that's really beautiful. Don't ever say no to that. Don't ever reject that, because it only like brings you so much more truth to who you are. And it brings you so much more authenticity when you accept it. So first step is accepting it, like accepting that you are a dancer, accepting that that's what you love, and accepting that that's your passion, and that your authentic self really does love that. And then I think like, secondly is just to be okay with whatever the heck they say about it. And I think like through your own pure radical existence, they are going to learn that you exist. Like, I think they just don't want to accept the fact that you exist as in this world as like a creative artist, right? As a Hmong American, first generation artist who finds life really like, or who's very passionate about life, who's very passionate about this thing. But you do exist. You're very real. And they're going to have to find a way to learn it, love it, and accept it just like you have yourself. So I think like for my parents, like I keep doing it. And my parents have found a way to just be like, you know what? She's so stubborn. Like I literally got my degree to get them off my back. like I went through college just for them to be like, okay, fine, Shayna, go ahead and do it. Like you already created a foundation for yourself and you have a job, like go ahead and do whatever the heck you want, because I can't stop you. And I'm like, good. Now you acknowledge that I'm not going to stop. And I've said this since I was a kid. And it sucks that it takes that long for you to like get acknowledged as that. But I think it's really important that you do that work. And it's really important that they do acknowledge that there are different kinds of people. There's different kinds of passions. You don't have to go into like the medical field. You don't have to have a regular job. To be honest, like, I mean, I do have a regular job, just to clarify that, but like you can be a dancer, and your radical existence is so important because like they do need to be aware that that is their child and there's people like this in the world, you know. And so just know that that's so important for you. If you haven't found a way to educate them, I think like just you being yourself, be your most authentic self, and through that you will educate them. And it's so important that they do understand that there are people like that, you know, and that they will have to learn how to love that no matter what. So my mom will love me no matter what. It's cool.
Wait, so can you all hear me? I had some technical issues. Yeah. Okay. I have a question. So I know you mentioned how before like in I don't know what part in your dance career, but you say you had Serena talk to your parents, right? A little bit about dancing, right? Like, can you because reason why I want to touch base on that was also because like even for my brother and myself, you know, when we started dancing, it was because breaking and just like dancing and also the hip hop culture was just so new to our parents who kind of immigrated here, and like they had no idea what hip hop was, you know what I mean, and the culture. So I feel like yeah, even for our parents, they were very much like they were kind of thinking it as like, you know, like all like they were thinking it like as like a negative thing, you know, because during that time a lot of gangsters were like breaking too, you know. So and we even had to have our older siblings, you know what I mean, to kind of talk to our parents for us in a way where they're like, you know, they're not doing anything negative, they're just dancing, you know, and that's what it is. And so I wanted to ask you, like, what is Serena, like, you know, I think that was super cool and super dope, you know. That's why I think mentorship is awesome. And even just having older siblings or like people who are older than you to speak to your parents, because you know how it is with Hmong parents, right? They won't listen to you, but then if you have somebody like older, you know, talk to them, talk to your parents for you, then it's kind of different. Like they're willing to kind of like hear that side, and it's different, right? Coming from somewhere else. So I wanted to ask you, like, how was that? Like, if you remembered, you know, like, how was what did Serena like say to your parents? You know what I mean? I'm curious.
I think like I'm sure that my mom came to one of the days that we sat in like a tree where dance space was open. I'm sorry, is there feedback going on?
Yeah, slightly.
Oh, slightly? Okay.
Maybe it's just connecting now. You're good.
Okay, so basically there was Serena who had her own immaculate dance space, and so whenever I went over there, my mom would sometimes come pick me up, and then Serena would talk to my mom, and then my mom would talk to Serena's mom. And I think Serena's mom actually was a big key player too. Actually, shout out to Serena's mom and Serena's family, because I think they were the ones that talked to her as well. And like if I was at like, there was this event called HMF, and I believe my mom, I don't know if it was that event specifically, I forget when, but my mom knew Serena's family. So shout out to Serena's family. They really are the ones. Oh my gosh. So that was really cool. But my older siblings too, they were huge in helping me just kind of be myself and do what I want to do. I mean, on top of talking to my parents about it, they were also like, Shayna, you know what you have to do. Like, it's okay. You can go dance. You should go dance. And there were always people that like guided me intuitively and was like, you need to listen to yourself and you need to think for yourself. And like my brother was even like, go major in dance, Shayna. What are you doing with your life? Like, you know, like you guys know Ninik, right? Ninik Vu? That's my brother. And he's really cool. That's my brother.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. Ninik's your brother?
Yeah, Ninik is my brother. Which
okay,
is
I only know one Ninik, so I just want to make sure that's the same Ninik.
What was that?
I don't know. Is it same Ninik? I don't
Wait,
know.
yeah. I only know one Ninik, so I'm thinking like that's him, but wait, what? Wait.
I don't know. Wow.
Yeah, that was Ninik. And Ninik was someone that was always like, you got a major in dance, what are you doing? Like you know, this is what you're supposed to do. And so he was someone that was so kind to me in terms of like being unapologetic about myself and like being a role model in that. But yeah, no, like, and my older siblings would vouch for me, but they were outside of the house anyways. And so there were a lot of times where I had to vouch for myself and be like, Mom, like I'm doing well in school. You need to get off my back. Like and I'm doing well in whatever XYZ. And like I think my mentality was like kill it so hard they can't say no. Like they can't say no. They have to deny like that they can't deny I have to do this, right? And I was this stubborn. Like I'm actually quite a stubborn person.
Yes.
Honestly. Like if I got a degree just to get my parents off my back so I can go dance, that's stubborn. And like that's literally what I had to do. And so like that's a lot of it is really like my older siblings, definitely Serena's mom, Serena's family, and showing that like there's a Hmong family that has dancers in it that is okay, and then my older siblings, yeah, there's a lot of that.
Dude. Wow. I mean, like for me, like I could totally relate to you straight up. I mean, I went to college. Part of it is definitely just to prove my parents wrong too. Like, mom graduated, but I'm doing what I love doing still. So like I guess what I'm saying is like I could totally relate to that side of your story, and it's really powerful. And I feel like thanks for sharing that. You want to say something? Mike's coming.
You guys hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I'm having some issues, so I wasn't sure if you guys could hear me. But yeah, I also wanted to touch base on how. Well, I'm only saying this because I feel like my brother and I, we kind of approached it with the same way that you approached it, in a way where it's like we were, when we started dancing, our parents didn't like it, but we were like, our grades aren't bad, so what is it? You know what I mean? So we were like, what is it? Because we knew that, okay, if it's affecting our grades and like, if it was really such a negative thing, we would. And this is like, I'm talking about high school, during like high school time. So, you guys still hear me? Sorry, I feel like my thing is like, but I'm frozen.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, as long as you guys can hear me.
We hear you.
Okay.
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, but I would only I wanted to comment on it because I feel like my brother and I, we kind of we approached it like that too, even with going to like college.
Well, villain just got cut off. Villain, I think you should just come downstairs probably. No, we're here together. So the lucky part about it is that villain will be coming downstairs sooner or later. But anyways, he was talking about. I think what I'm trying to complete my twin brother's thoughts thought is that he's saying that as when we started, parents didn't like us dancing, right? But we never had bad grades, right? Our education always proves them wrong, but at the same time, when we go out for our long rehearsal or long session time in our life, they always are confused and are kind of questioning that bubble, like, why are they gone so long? They don't understand what the heck we're doing, right? And like, after me, I'm just trying to play my brother out right now. And but the whole point of that is that like, but when they see the end results of our like our maybe a production show, maybe like invite them to see the show, or maybe bringing home a trophy. Just, hey mom, hey, I won first place today, or maybe second place, right? I mean, you bring something home, and they're like, oh shoot, wow, but they still see the grade as like as a plus, or not means as a plus, but a validation that, oh wow, my son is actually still doing great in school, so they're doing that, mean that what they're doing is not bad. So I guess I'm thinking when he was saying that he could relate to that, and like, is that something that you see throughout your life as a dancer and an artist? Like, do you use education as a way to kind of prove them? I'll be real with you, I moved out to Long Beach to dance with Pac Modern, straight up. You know what I mean? I moved out to Long Beach to dance with Pac Modern and be part of the dance industry that I never knew about it my entire life. No one told me about the dance industry, but I moved to Long Beach. First of all, yeah, I wanted to get away too, but at the same time, I wanted to dance with a team that I heard about, which is Pac Modern. And then I also realized that I know that there was a dance industry out there that I want to pursue. And I never done that. And my brother at the same time, we never done that in our entire career as B-boys, So we utilize education as a pillar for us to get there, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm thinking what my brother is trying to get at, he's trying to jump in again, is that what is that? Is that similar to your story, or is that, do you encounter that through your life?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I think education. I told my mom, hey mom, I'm gonna come back with a degree. I told her I'll be into nursing. Like I literally told her I'm gonna go be a nurse for you, but I just want to get her off my back. Like, and I just wanted to go as far as away so that she doesn't like. It's not necessarily to go far away as possible. I think I wanted to go join the SoCal dance scene, as you mentioned too. In fact, Modern was there, and it was definitely on my radar because I was going to Cal State Long Beach. And it's so funny. I didn't even know you guys went to Cal State Long Beach. I didn't even know you guys did Pac Modern until like after the fact, which is hilarious because you guys have been my alumni for a minute. But yeah, no, like I had gone to Cal State Long Beach, and I think there I kind of like was like piecing together a lot of who I am, and like, oh, I not only like am I going to school for dance and stuff, like I'm only better at school because of dance, because like dance has always pushed me that way. And like I wanted to dance, so I was doing well in school, if that makes sense. And so if anything, like, don't get me wrong, that I do value education very highly too, but like I was only doing this really well because I want to do this really well. And I think that was a really really unique part in kind of just like doing education while dancing at the same time and just getting them off my back. And as much as I think it was just getting them off my back as like too, I think it was also validation for myself to know that like I have my own foundation and now I can support myself. And I know I have an education background too. And like now I can do this however I want to do it, and it can look however it wants to be, you know. And like now I have this freedom for myself to work on my craft and my art without needing anyone to support me or without needing any other person to sustain me. And so, yeah, no, like 100%. Like I went to school to get my mom off my back. Like, and I think I've lost sight of that when I was like in college, because I started getting really into college, and I was like, oh, I really want to not only just do well, but like I don't know. I think I lost sight of it a little bit just because there's so much going on while you're in college. But I think now that I'm done with it, I was like, oh, I know I did it because I wanted to get them off my back, and so that I can like dance and work on my craft full time. I could be independent and do that. And now my craft can be however it looks because I have that freedom for it to be. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having some tech issues, so I just decided to come down and join my brother. Obviously, we're streaming from the same place. Maybe that's why. I don't know. This is the first time we're in the same place. So
I'll say that too. Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. Shayna, I had only asked that question because I kind of feel like that journey. I also kind of could relate to that, you know, in a way where.
Hey, did I hear it?
What?
Oh, keep going, keep
Oh,
going.
I might have missed.
Oh, keep going. I continue your conversation.
Yeah. Because I feel like I feel like even my journey going to college was kind of like that too, because like our parents, you know, coming from like just, you know, having like traditional parents, they want you to go to school. They expect, if anything, you know, they expect you to go to college and, you know, get a degree and be successful, which is great, which is all great, right? And I get it, right? But I feel like part of, like honestly, part of the reason why we also wanted to go to Cal State Long Beach, yeah, and I know you went there as well, was also because of the fact that we wanted to take our dance career higher, somewhere further, right? When it's a new territory, you know, we're learning more, you know, and we're also expanding we're getting out of our bubble, right? Like I always tell my brother, you know, I will always tell him like, you know, like Sacramento, we're always in Sacramento. Even like there was a point where we got out of Sacramento and we're like, let's go to the Bay Area, and eventually it came down to a point where it was, let's go somewhere else, you know, because we were like sort of exploring kind of like exploring ourselves in different areas, you know, and education was, I feel like, one of the also played a factor. So yeah, I'll go to college, you know, my parents, you know, to satisfy them, right? Also, I feel like we both kind of saw it as like it's kind of like a new opportunity too, you know, to kind of see where, you know, we could our dance career. But I wanted to let you know, like, yeah, I totally understand that, and even our case for going to college was kind of similar in that way. And after I graduated, right, at Cal State Long Beach, I was like, I'm just gonna dance now. Kind of like, you know, I did it, and I'm just gonna dance now. So it was one of those like, you know, and I think college is such a great experience too, though. So I mean, in the end, I don't regret it at all, because I feel like if it wasn't for college, we would have never like been a part of the Kinjis and everything too. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think LA, like, it was definitely a place where you're hungry to grow. Like, you're not necessarily hungry to be the best. Like, you just want to grow and learn. And like, there's so much to learn over there from not just dancers, but like artists in general. And you have like a plethora of resources and history in this like area, you know? And so I think it's something that like our parents probably low key knew. Like, they probably were like, oh no, they're gonna go dance because it's you know, it's Southern California, and of course we're gonna do that. But yeah, no, there is definitely so many resources there. And I feel like I've only grown so much more, and I only went there because I was so hungry to learn from these dancers and to learn from the community and culture. But you know what? We got our education, and that's a plus. So that's the bonus.
Yeah. Since we're talking about experience now, like I guess I want to ask you just like what's some of your most memorable experience as a dancer or as an artist, and even like, I mean, success stories to even failure story, you know, that made you, you know, like that, or that made a big impact in your life. And it could be from the beginning. I mean, we're talking about origin story, but we're really going now into like more like the artist experience, the hip hop experience, you know what I mean? So yeah, what are those? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the first one,
Share some. Yeah.
was probably the one where like the very first like competition that I had entered with U1 Dance Crew was at Kawaii Festival, and we won first place, and that was the first time my mom acknowledged, uh-oh, she can dance. Like, oh no. Yeah, like it, like when we brought home the trophy, she was like, oh, that's so great, I'm so happy for you. And then we danced at another competition and we won second. And that was when she was like, uh-oh, they're winning. I need to stop this now. And she got really like upset. So like the first time was great, you know, and I was really excited because I was dancing. And I met like some of my idols when I was a kid. Like I loved Victor Kim, I loved IME Crew, I loved like all of those dancers, right? And I would look them up. I'd be on YouTube all the time. And to actually see them in person, to dance for them, to be like judged by them, to be yeah, like that was just something that was really, really cool. But my mom said no. Like she just started realizing it's gonna go down a really like dancer rabbit hole. But I think that was also the moment I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. Like this is 100% it, and I know I need to do it. I think my first competition at Vibe was something that was just like mind blowing, because not only like do you see your like dance idols and people that you've looked up on YouTube and stuff, I got to compete with them, and I was like, I get to compete with you. Like I'm on the same competition level as you are. That's insane to me, and that was like super awesome. A really cool experience. Success stories. I think when it comes to failure stories, I don't consider my failures as failures, just because that's just me being stubborn and being like that. Maybe that's just a redirection, or like maybe that's just like a lesson for me to learn. But I know I'm gonna like find something from it and like take a lot away from it.
I understand. I lost more battles in my life, or you know, competition in my life than winning, and I feel like I'm only saying this to our viewers out there. And I totally agree with you that like sometimes I value a lot on my failures, because it really taught me more than my wins, you know. And the wins only last for 1 second or a couple of minutes, and you're just kind of like, okay, on to the next. But those failures are the one that's gonna make you like work every day to do what you want to do in life. So I feel you on that. So keep going. I want to just say, keep going.
Yeah, no, really though. I think like there are times I'm really, really frustrated, and it hurts. Like it hurts my ego sometimes. But it's like, no, I that's not a fail. I think that's like I take a lot from my losses, or I take a lot from those experiences too. But yeah, I think those are kind of like my main success failure stories. I think like battling for the first time on an all styles competition was really cool. I think that was such a really dope experience.
Where was that at?
This was at the Ladies First Jam in San Diego.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I think like that was the first time I was like, oh, I think I found something that I want to do more. And so I think like that was really cool. And I got addicted to that feeling too. And I was like, okay, I do want to like freestyle more. I do want to like really dive into my own style and find my own identity in this scene specifically. And so, yeah, those are mainly my success failure stories and such.
So, well, have have you traveled anywhere through dance, or maybe like what do you call it? Work with any like artists that you like, or like let's say maybe like even like perform at a time that you like, wow, I finally like got there to do what I love to do at the moment, you know?
I think,
Or even
well,
even creation, like art, like stuff that you create that you always want to create.
oh my gosh, yes.
'Cause
Well, for one,
you know, I mean, like you're not just a dancer, but you're a producer, you're a director, you know, to our audience out there. So like, you know, I want to expand it on that topic.
yeah, for sure. I think creatively, recently, it was really cool doing a short film, and I've been really into like short films and such this year, and really active in like creative projects. Those have been the coolest experiences ever. Like to expand your dance and your movement outside of just movement, and like starting to understand storytelling and like visual boards, and like just being an effective communicator through storytelling, right? Those were really awesome experiences. I think like I came out with a first video with my friend Emily Wan, and if she's in here, shout out to you. I love you so much. But yeah, like we had our first video, and that was really cool and unique. And I think like in that experience, it was really interesting to see my movement on film, because I was like, my movement looks so different. Like it doesn't look like a typical feminine movement. It really doesn't. And like it doesn't look like a masculine movement either. It really looks weird and it looks different. And I think like in that moment when you kind of like, I guess when you create projects and stuff too, and you see yourself in these projects, you kind of go through this like, so that's my craft, you know, and you actually experience your craft for the first time. And so that was a really cool experience. And I was like, oh, I think I need to be doing this more often, because like art needs to be more flexible. It needs to be like, it needs to bend these like norms that we have. And I think like just naturally through that experience, like working with Emily, working with Karis and Ursula, like that was a really cool experience in terms of seeing your work, like your authentic work put out. But the most recent one was like a dream come true, because it was so cool. And I was like kind of like the lead actress in it. It's called Ilo Milo. Yes, Emily is in here, and I worked on it with her too. She was a huge part in it. But it was a really cool experience, because it's really extending, like I said, extending your craft and making it something more unique, and like not just being like, hey, you're an actor, or hey, you're a dancer, and that's all you do. It's like you're in this discussion in this room talking about a story, and what is this person going through? What are their triggers? What are their traumas? What are their like motivations and such? And like, how are we going to tell this story effectively? And I think when you start being included on those tables and stuff, you start thinking more critically, and you problem solve far more. And it's just such an awesome process. Like if anyone out there wants to create like any videos or create any stories, I guarantee you, like, start now. Like there's no better time to start than now, because it is such a beautiful process, especially when you start getting into a flow of it, especially when you start collaborating with other people. And I think for me personally, like my biggest dream, or one of my biggest dreams, is just to collaborate with other artists and like create work and tell stories that are so important, because holy heck, like no matter who you are, your story is so important to be told. It doesn't matter if you look a certain way, if you like have a different kind of experience, no matter what, like we do need to diversify media. We do need to diversify the people we see on screen. We do need to diversify like our stories that are being told, because oh my gosh, sorry, I'm going on a rabbit hole, but but like the stories.
This is amazing. I feel like I only bring this up too because I feel like I know you as a dancer, but I feel like I have gotten to know you more as a creator and producer, and you know, straight up director, in terms of just an artist in that realm where you are creating content. I feel like it's like you said, exactly what you're saying. It's storytelling that is essential in our time, right? And man, I like, I won't bring this up so you could talk more about it, so our viewers and the next generation, whoever's watching in the future, heads up, again, this is not just live and it's gonna be disparate. No, it's gonna be saved, and you can watch it and share with your future students, you know. But like I think your insights are important for us to share right now, you know. And like especially in terms of content building, and like you just say straight up story building, like, you know, that's something that I feel like sometimes it's a lost craft and lost knowledge now, especially with some fast creation that sometimes doesn't make sense. But if you really put a story into it, it's just masterpiece. And I've seen many masterpieces that you created so far. So I don't know. Keep going. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think there is so much to learn when you tell your own story and when you like actually start on it, because like it's like any kind of craft that you do. Like when you first begin, like of course you're gonna get through like your bad batches and you're gonna get through like, okay, but you have to be like very forgiving with yourself. Like I just started, I just learned, you know. But I think like as you continue going on and as you start like working with different teams, it's just you kind of like, as you open these things and you start storytelling, you start opening yourself up, you're inevitably opening other people up too, and you're doing that work together. And I think there's something really beautiful in like entering that space with each other when you're just like, okay, so what do you think now? What do you think? And so yeah, like my recent work has opened my eyes to that so much. Like shout out to Ursula, because like Ursula's a production company that started up by themselves, and they're self-taught as well, and there's only 2 guys. But like we are there to really support each other. It's like, okay, so how can I help you? And like you literally learn so much when you ask someone like, how can I help you? Or how can I support you? How can I do XYZ? And that is community building. Like, and to do it for free, do it for free. Seriously, you don't need to charge. Community means doing it for free. And shout out to Mayder for like reminding me that like that is what it means to be a community, is to support one another without a cost, but just to do it because if you like, if my friend gets better, then my community gets better. Like you in turn make me better too. So like it's no competition. Like honestly, like competition needs to be like thrown out the door. Like don't get me wrong, like there's like, you know, battles and stuff and competitions and such too. But at the end of the day, like the better that your community gets, the better you are in turn. So keep investing in that and like do it generously, you know. And I think yeah, like my current work has really taught me what it means to do that. And yeah, it's been really awesome. It's been like you get on a creative high and you're just like, I just want to keep creating with you guys, and like you find out your own like mojo and stuff. I'm sure you guys can speak on that a little bit too. Like how was your experience like storytelling and working with other people?
I mean, for I totally understand. Like with Iverson, like our media crew, like is almost like grassroots too. Like we worked and built and worked with each other from the beginning to just kind of grow what we are now. You know, the Kindreds and Vibrancy. So I would speak upon that because I feel like I think I could relate to that too. When you work with people who are like how you mentioned, what was the media team that you working in called?
Be what?
The media team that you worked with? What is it called? Ursula. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like how you mentioned you work with them, and like I feel like to me this relationship is really important, right? With anything that you do as an artist, as a creator, especially when you're trying to create something bigger than yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's the relationship, yeah, right? It's the relation that you build with. Like even when I work with Villain, like my brother, it's a relationship. We had to start with the relationship and understand where we go with that, and understand what we create out through that as well, right? And also everyone have a viewpoint, opinion, and as artists, sometimes we are sensitive people. Straight up, we are sensitive with our crafts. We are we want our stuff the certain way, but sometimes also we have to compromise, understand how to work that relationship that we talk about to create the story that we want to portray, the visuals, the ideas, the concept to put across, because sometimes the story tells a deeper meaning than just a story, you know. There's a lesson, there's characters that we want you to relate to, you know what I mean? Like your video, like there's, you know, like recently I watched, like there's characters in there that if you really pay close attention to it's relatable too, you know. Well, if anything, is like it's a full package. There's more to that creation, that product that we create at the end than just a video, right? If you really dig to it, there's art in that. That's why I guess that's where my experience come from. And so I'm just happy to talk about it because I don't get a chance to talk about this in this side too. I get to talk about a lot of, I guess, more hip hop competitive concepts, but when we talk about like content building and so on, like I feel like you are probably one of the pioneer right now in my understanding of like the future generation that definitely will create stuff that will change what we see now in life, you know what I mean? So I'm excited. If anything, that's me though. I mean, I'm just
Yeah, I think like for me, I feel like in anything that I do, like I think there's something much more magical than just dance sometimes, you know. And I feel like if you're willing to take on that challenge and go a little bit deeper, go a little bit further, like develop the character a little bit more, you know, layer a story over it. I feel like that um, and you know, like going back to what my brother was saying too, nowadays people just do things just because it's cool. They're like, this is cool, so we're just gonna do it, right? But for me, I see so much value in things that are more than just movement sometimes. But the movement is just if anything, the movement is just kind of like it's just movement is like what you said earlier. Art is just there for us to understand each other. The bigger picture is a story that we're telling, right? It's about the characters, it's about what we're truly trying to tell through this video, whether it's a dance video or not. But like the dance is just a cherry on the top, because I feel like sometimes dance and movement could allow people to understand each other better than verbal, right? Because if we start talking about a certain topic, we'll start debating, right? But when it comes to art and it comes to dance and dance videos, and if you're one of those who are willing to take on that challenge on take your dance further than it's just movement, you turn it into such a way that, you know, it becomes a story. There's so much more meaning than just the dance and then the movement. It's like you know, it's like you know, like even like the whole when it goes down to concept and how you shoot it, it's so much more, you know, like you're making a very powerful video. And yeah, and dance is just something that we all understand, right? We could watch something and be like, I feel that, right? You know, so and going off on that too, like how was that? I know we'll definitely share for those who haven't seen that video. We'll definitely share it again just so everyone can see it. It's definitely a really dope video. How was your? I do want to ask you, like, how was it to kind of find that character? Like, how was it playing that character?
It was really cool. I think like it was such a unique experience. She's a crazy character. She has like two sides to her and stuff too. And like she's just this psycho killer wife or something. And like it was really unique. I had reached out to like my friends, like actor friends and stuff for like tips and stuff too. But to open up like my creative arsenal and just to be open to the possibility of acting, to be like open to the possibility of like letting people play with like my hair, my makeup, my like, you know, my like what I'm dressing and everything. It was a great experience, like honestly. And like, guess what brought me there? It was dance, you know, and dance had opened up these opportunities for me, right? And it brings this like deeper connection to like I got to be another person for a little bit. And I think like this person's really messed up, right? Just like you see like actors in movies and stuff, like they play Joker, they play like all these different things, but like you kind of realize like these people are just people. You kind of realize that like we are just like you would be the same person if you were brought up the same way, XYZ, right? And I think like through art, through storytelling, you find so much more empathy for human beings. And I think like that's why like when I say like when you have a story to tell it, go through it, you know, like do it and like really pursue it and like be open to the possibilities of what can happen, because I learned so much about like acting in that one small series. And that was only like a 5-minute video, right? But like I learned so much about the human experience through it. I learned so much talking to every single like artist on set, like from the directors, like the DP, the from every like hairstylist or like makeup artist. You talk to all these different people and you learn so many different things through this art, right? This art form. And like I said, guess what brought me there was dance. And I think like that's why it's so important. Like I'm telling you guys, like if you feel like you need to dance, do it, because like it brings you to places you've never thought before, and it teaches you things you never thought before. And I think with art, like I said, storytelling and dance, like it teaches you connection to people, it teaches you more empathy, it teaches you what it means to like live a human experience. It tells you like even through hip hop, like you learn so much about America through hip hop. You learn so much about like through the socioeconomic lens. You learn so much through art. You learn so much through all these different things. But yeah, no, I think like my whole experience, sorry, that was just a whole rabbit hole again. But in general though, like yeah, that experience was really cool because they did include me in on just like the storytelling. They included me in on like, okay, so what would she do if this was the situation? And I got to chime in on those things, or like I got to chime in on like, I think she wouldn't act like that. I think she'd do it like this instead, you know, or like I think she would do this and this and this. And I think like that's understanding the character and who she is. And I think when you do that, when you take yourself out of the picture, you realize like we're all human beings, and it just like I said, brings a better understanding of like empathy and understanding of people and the human experience. And I think that's something that like you don't want to miss out on while you're a human being on this earth. You really don't, because it's truly beautiful. So I would implore like any storyteller, any artist to go for it. Like do it if you feel like that.
I agree. I think we need more of that too. Speak on empathy and sympathy and like understanding, right? And I feel like something you said that's really valuable that I want to point out to our audience too is that like us as artists sometimes we do what we love to do because we love it so much. We do it. We never expect it to take us anywhere. We never expect it to. Obviously, we dream, right? First of all, we do dream. We dream of taking our crafts so far, but sometimes, like Shayna mentioned, she never expect dance to take her to a point where she would get to really act and take it, you know, right? Like expand your realm as an artist. And I feel like that's something that I want to point out as I can relate to that because sometimes us as people, sometimes I want to remind us that we could still, if we love to do what we do, just continue to do that craft or do what you want to do. And I guarantee you, hard work will pay through, especially if you just back that up. And sometimes second nature will create natural talent, and natural talent will just create with hard work go a long way, you know. And like that's something like I feel like knowing you, Shayna, I've seen you at multiple steps in my life, right? As a dancer. But when I see you now, and like I like wow, like there's some maturity, and there's also like a level of artistry that have grown to the point where I feel like I'm excited to see more, like what's next, like the future, right? And like I feel like I'm so thankful to have you as our third guest because I feel like our younger generation need to see and learn more about people like you right now, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot to take on. You guys are people I looked up to. So thank you guys for that. You guys are awesome. And like also Mayder and Serena, awesome people that like I have always looked up to. So it's kind of unreal to like be on this panel with you guys because it's like I've just been running after you guys, and like I've just been like, oh shoot, look at what they can do. Like I can possibly do that too, and so let's just go that route and be open to it, you know. So thank you guys. Like you guys are the role models for sure.
It's definitely full circle for sure, and I'm really inspired. And like from our prior guests to them, like from Serena, you know, like to see the connection, our story, right, our story with Serena to even Mayder, our story connecting with Mayder, and now seeing our story with you, and then like it's great to see how art or just the ability to have that skill just to think of beyond of wanting to do what you want to do sometime, right? And fighting for it and being unapologetically yourself, right? And go for it. And like say, you know what, this is me, like love me, you know what I mean? If you don't, it's fine. I'm gonna do myself. I'm gonna make you love me. And like that's something that we talked about actually after Mayder's stuff, and then she asked me a question. I was talking about Bruce Lee. I'm like, Bruce Lee was one of the person that I feel like that was talking about like, man, I'm gonna prove you, I'm gonna make you guys love me. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that I feel like you have that aura, that energy too. So I commend you for that, and I'm looking forward for that, for you to create more in like your future as an artist and teacher and dancer and creator. So I guess you touch a lot of on already based off of like you're bridging a gap. I feel like you're one of your most natural talent. I feel like you do naturally already is like you create art and share with our community, you know, like that's like you already bridging that gap in that way. And I taught a workshop with you recently too last year. I'm so honored to be on that guest artist teacher to teach at in Fresno as well, you know what I mean? And like I know you're a teacher, I know you're an artist, I know you're a creator, but what are some stuff that you're looking for in the future to create or do within our community? I'm not talking about just Hmong community, but I'm talking about like just like to help our future generation or even our older generation, you know what I mean? Like, you know, is there anything that you are looking into? I'm just curious.
Yeah, of course. I think something that I take into consideration like really deeply, or like something that I take to heart, is like my Fresno community. Because like I feel for it when you like when it's hard to have resources sometimes, you know what I mean? And we're like you're like, oh, I'm not in that city yet, or I'm not in a certain place yet. And I think like giving back to Fresno is something that I've always like had on my mind, and I still do keep tabs on all my Fresno dancers. I really do. And I think like I hope my Fresno
That's
dancers
awesome.
know that, is that like I keep tabs on them, and I'm like, hey, you've grown, like, and I've seen you grow, and I really want to see you keep growing and continue to grow, you know. And like I keep tabs on the teams here too, because it's like this is my community, you know, and I want to see them thrive and grow. And the better, like I said, the better that they are, the better I am in return. So it's like there's no competition, like and like no bad vibes or energy. It's really like I want to see you thrive and grow. I think like it's something to really think about, because I think like I'm still going through my own process of like what it means to be an artist that works, like I guess like an artist that works in a sense in a place of freedom, and like looking for like liberation through that, right? And like really being yourself and being yourself unapologetically. But eventually I do want to pass on that kind of knowledge and pass on that kind of like space, especially those kind of spaces, to other dancers, spaces where like you're safe to explore, you're safe to create, you're safe to be yourself and find healing through it, I think. And so I'm still figuring it out. Like I feel like it's gonna be a different thing. Like and like I think knowing myself, it's always gonna be different and weird. But I
Well,
look forward to creating spaces that like cultivate healing and liberation for other dancers.
I really appreciate you saying that, because coming from Fresno and understanding exactly what you're talking about with the limited, amount of resources that we have and the things that we're building out here as dancers, organizers, artists, right? It's really reassuring to know that there's someone as youthful as you are that wants to come back and give back, because just being born and raised here and not having the opportunity that you did going down to SoCal, even though I've been there for jams and other little things, you had the opportunity to live like that dance lifestyle that I keep hearing about. You know what I mean? And like I'm telling you, I just greatly appreciate that you still think about Fresno, and you still want to come back. So if you need any help out here, that I can help you with, just let me know.
Dude, yeah, of course. And I think like Fresno was where I like the Central Valley is where I learned my leadership skills, because you guys were all such fascinating leaders like in this community, just creating like resources for all of us, you know. And I was a kid that like soaked all of that awesomeness in. Like I really did. And I try to go to every single like thing. I try to go to every like class, or I would try to go to jams and stuff too, even. And I definitely want to give back, but I think I still have a lot of exploration to do, like personally, and like especially what it is, especially that like I need to figure out and how I want to contribute and give back, because everyone does it in a different way. But like 110%, I'm always keeping tabs on my Fresno people. I'm always keeping tabs on what's going on. So Fresno dancers and stuff, like yeah, like definitely looking out for you guys always, and like let me know if you guys need anything at all. And I've always tried to be a free resource for them to utilize as well. And so yeah.
That's so dope. I mean, it's great to see your mindset in that way and your insight, because like speaking to a person that you work that was your mentor, like Serena. I mean, something that it stuck with me when we had a conversation was she was saying that like I don't butcher her quote, but she's pretty much saying that like, you can't do it, teach it, right? And like I was like, yo, well, like my head was like that to me, and like when I heard her say that, I was like, you're right. I mean, and then like I mean, when she mentioned that and she explained her story about as a teacher, I could see her. I know she's an amazing teacher, right? From the way she described things and talk about stuff, and like for you reaching out saying that you're looking toward to that as an artist too. I think that's amazing. And I'm looking forward to you to share more, but at the same time, I'm also looking forward to you just being an artist. Be real, like because I could relate to you all that. Like sometimes, as an artist and a teacher, sometimes you just need to learn to be a better artist. Sometimes, so artist or dancer or whatever you want to be, right? So I'm looking forward for you just to grow, and like shoot, I mean, I guess speaking on that, like as a at this time in your life. I know life changed, experiences changes. You learn new things. You might want new stuff in your life and so on. You know, we all value stuff differently, but we all have a common value. But sometimes we also have like a personal value, right? A personal thing that we live by, and sometimes it goes by our mission statements or a mantra. I'm curious for you as an artist, like what's one of your like values you hold by, or your mantra or saying, or you know, like for Kinjis it's like respect all fair none, you know what I mean, move in the shadow, you know, can't at all costs, you know, just sometimes it's like a moral compass, right? And then I give my one of my great lifetime mentor, Arne Calvario. I mean, he's one of my pivotal person that I met in my life that taught me these value and taught me as an individual too to understand where my moral compass is. So let me ask you, like, what's your moral compass? What's your compass that gets you to the point where you will find grounding? You know what I mean? Like moments of like, okay, clarity. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. This one,
We're diving deep. I'm just saying we're going to that concept a deeper in dance now. So
yeah, of course.
yeah.
Mine is, if you're scared of it, it probably means you should do it.
Whoa.
Yeah, that one's a big one that I follow. And like I think I do that because like it's definitely like I'm someone that can plan ahead and can like foresee like years and years, like planning 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 30-year plan, right? And like my mom's always like, oh, you should be a doctor, you should be a nurse, you should go to medical school, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can see all of those steps, but then like with dance, it was always a place where it was like, I can't see in front of me. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And that's so scary to me. And I was like, it kind of came to a point where I was just like, you know what? Like, if I'm scared of it, that means I should do it. And like, even like living in SoCal during COVID, like that was kind of scary to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I moved back to Fresno. That feels safe, you know, that feels like I have family around and that's going to be okay. But like, and then like while I'm driving home in tears, like I was literally in tears because I didn't want to go home, but like go back to Long Beach. But I was like in the car and I was like it just came to me and it just said like, if you're scared of it, that means you need to be there. You need to do it. And I was like, okay. And like I've actually followed that like for almost all my life. I think being especially like a female dancer that like was raised in street style too, like being and I'm so used to being like a female in male dominated spaces, like, and it has scared me before, but it's like, no, if you're scared of it, that means you should be there and you should be in that space and it's okay. And once you get through it, like you feel so much better and you learn so much. So like, yeah, like if you're scared of it, that's exactly where you're meant to be. Yeah.
That's great. Wow. That's awesome, because like I feel like a lot of us as a natural human beings, we anything that scares us, we walk away from it.
Yeah.
And I always tell you're right. I mean, like I say, I feel like there's something about fear that I feel like it's supposed to be there to be a friend, and in a way where it teaches you to listen, but at the same time also teaches you to sometimes know when to walk away too sometimes. But also you know when to judge based off what it is, and it creates opportunity more than you think it is. It's almost like a distant cousin, maybe, or maybe a brother or sister of mistake, right? Like mistakes. Like people are those two things, like being afraid to make mistake or just having a certain fear or certain thing. Those two come in a way where it actually increase strength. So damn, props. That's powerful. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great thing to live by. I'm saying.
It feels like it's
yeah.
It has only steered me right for now. It's only steered me correctly since I've been alive. So I mean, like I'm still alive. I'm 23, so I should be okay. But I also heard like a quote recently that's like, on the other side of fear, there's love. And like I think that's a big one too. And I've only found more love for who I am authentically, and more love for for everyone in the world and everything in the world when I have been put into those spaces. And it's only given me like a faster understanding of what it means to live without fear. So that is the compass to live by.
It's almost like you're finding balance. So I give you props for that. Like
finding balance?
Yeah, it's almost like you're finding a balance of what fear is and love is. Like that's pretty dope.
Yeah. No, fear is like when you lean into it, it's probably teaching you a lot of like things about love and yourself. So I think anyone that feels that fear should probably do it. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah,
That's true. I can relate 100%. Man, should we get into some audience questions?
yeah, let's do it.
Audience questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found a really good question. It says, what advice would you give to the younger generation who also wants to pursue dance or any art related passions?
If you feel it's calling for you, it's gonna keep calling for you. So you might as well do it. Like that's just me being really honest and real with you. Like it's not gonna stop. Like if you were called to do something, that's a freaking honor, dude. Like that's an honor and that's your calling. So you wear that on your sleeve. Cause like I feel like there were times where I denied that part of myself where I was just like, no, it's not. Like I need to focus on like life or whatever, and I need to do XYZ. But like it's always gonna be there. So do it anyways. Like, and that's just a shortcut of life. I'm telling you, like, if it's gnawing at you, it's gonna do that for the rest of your life. So you might as well get it over with and do it and figure out why it's there in the first place. Because yeah, like you're gonna be so surprised at what kind of journey you're gonna have. Even though you can't see in front of you and it's like literally a room in the dark and you're just feeling everything out. I swear there are people that guide you through it. I swear there are people that have done it before. There are people that like you guys, like honestly, like you guys as like mentors or like even Serena and Mayder, like they've done it before and they're like, oh, don't touch this, don't touch this, don't touch this, even though like you're trying to feel in the dark. You know what I mean? Like you have so much support. And it's so important that you do it. I'm telling you, it's important for you to like do the arts because it teaches you so much about life. It teaches you so much about like human beings in general. And it's what you're meant to do. So do it. like I don't know how to make it any more clear than that. Like just straight up do it because you're meant to, for sure. But yeah.
Well, here's another one. How do you feel that your Hmong heritage translates into your artwork?
How do I feel with my own heritage, that my own heritage has reflected in my artwork? What was that?
Yes. How do you feel that your Hmong heritage translates into your artwork?
Sorry, I have to write that down so I don't get off topic. But it 110% does. I feel like I'm always a really weird mover, and I've always been a weird mover since day one. And I think like from Hmong people, like I think there's an immediate artistry in Hmong people, honestly. And I think like for myself, like when I see my work, it's just like, why do I look so different? Like, why do I look so different compared to every single dancer? Like, it frustrated me for a little bit because I was like, I just want to be a clean dancer. I want to like be able to fly by with these really good dancers and just like not be seen being so weird. But I think with my Hmong heritage, like being Hmong teaches you a lot about persistence and like really working really, really hard to get whatever the heck you want. And under any kind of resources you get, any kind of like conditions that you're in, teaches you a lot about persistence. And I think when it comes to my artwork and stuff, I look so different doing anything. Like I look so different. And I think like even with like the Ilo Mila or like my recent work and everything, like all of it looks so different and unique and weird. And I know that comes from being Hmong and being different. And I wear that proudly too. I think I definitely wear that proudly because I think like Hmong people should be seen more often. I think their artwork should be seen more often. But yeah, I think like being Hmong makes you different and it makes you real, it makes you authentic. And I think like that's something I'm really proud of too. But yeah.
Heck yeah, I agree to that because even for me, I feel like even my artistry sometimes I think about it too, how different I am and what the things that I do, like from breaking to even like the work that I put out. I feel, but then again, you're right on that. It's like, and I feel being unique is a great thing. And I know you understand that, and those who are watching also get it. That uniqueness is also part of the reason why makes you who you are. So. If anything, continue to embrace that, Shayna, and I think that's the beauty of dance too, and the human experience is that you're able to offer something different. So definitely embrace that.
Yeah, and I want to say more to add on to that is that I love that you say your movements are awkward or weird or like like so different, but like I honestly think that like when I see you dance, I don't think it's awkward or weird. I actually think it's like really original. Maybe that's why you feel it awkward or weird because it's so original that to me like I never seen a dance like you. So that's what like my plug in the beginning. I was like Shayna being Hmong just icing on the top, but like her being such an original dancer that I have never seen in that way you move, and it's almost like the way you move. It's not me that is awkward, weird. It's actually really beautiful because I feel like it comes from really authentic, like movement, you know. And so because of that, I feel like it really truly resembles who you are. So don't feel bad. Keep going.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys too.
Don't feel bad. Because I honestly think when you move authentically and do what you got to do as an individual, with whatever you learn from your experience, that's what you are, and that's part of a life. Sometimes as an artist, you create who you want to be. You know what I mean? And like Mayder and like Serena, they mentioned that before too. Is like the ability to create art is also be able to create who you are as well as an individual. You know, so don't stop creating. Please, we need more people like you, and we need more people like you to kind of express your art, to inspire the future generation that will hopefully one day, honestly, like just continue the trend of what is to be authentic, right? And sometimes we're losing that. People think that people think that we get the most mainstream dancing now, but no, sometimes authenticity is still gonna reign supreme sometimes, straight up. So, and that's what you're doing. That's all I'm saying. So props to that. Let's do one more question and let's go into like maybe like the free giveaways for those who have been tuning in. Okay, you okay with that? Let's do that. Gary.
All right. So for Shayna, so what is one thing, or the most influential thing you have learned from hip hop dance, being a artist?
Oh, that is such a loaded one, but
just one thing though. One
thing, like, and I think this is something that's like the highlight of my life currently, like something that I'm still like on a high of too, is just like feeling liberated. And I think really like being unapologetic about who you are. And it's something that you have to practice all the time, for sure. You know, like what it means to be liberated, what it means to like feel free and like feel free and be able to see every single human being like as just who they are, and like what they are is just a really beautiful, powerful human being, and understanding like your power resides in you, you know, and like being liberated in a sense where it's like, it doesn't matter if I'm a girl, it doesn't matter if I'm like, you know, Hmong American, it doesn't matter if I'm like a female, it doesn't matter, all these different things, all those freaking labels don't mean anything. It's literally just me being myself, and I can express myself through this movement, and this is my body. I get to choose what to do with it. And it's something that's really, really powerful that I enjoy. So I think if there's anything that like hip hop has taught me, it's really that. And like it's also like a really beautiful culture of love and liberation, and like the people that have taught me along the way. Like Serena was someone that mentored me when I was in high school and stuff, but like there were so many other people that mentor you along the way, that are teaching you ways to like, hey, 100%. You're moving like this, like try this a little bit. Maybe try moving your elbow. Maybe try like moving your chest or your hips a little bit. And like what they're kind of just giving you are just key ways to like move your body and use it for how you want to express yourself, and how you want to be free, and how you can use your body to express that, right? Mm-hmm. And I think like that's one of the things that I've loved about hip hop, is that like people teach you this and they do it for free. Like a lot of the times it's actually free knowledge. Like you don't have to pay classes for this stuff. Even though like you should go like support your artists and stuff too. Like a lot of people are so sweet in this community, in this like culture, that like they will tell you for free. And it's just, I think that's something that I've found, or it's something that I've learned through hip hop, and something that I have to continuously practice, and like being free of like also commodifying your art, and like just being your most authentic self, and being okay with that, and loving that, and knowing that there's space for that too. That's a lot. Sorry, but yeah, that is something that I've learned.
No, that's really powerful. I feel like that again resonates to why you are who you are, really straight up. Like, yeah, non-positively being who you are, and like expressing yourself. Like, man, Shayna, it's been so great just to learn more about you, and I feel like you say, you're still young. I'm not gonna lie, like you're still young. Your time have honestly, like as an older person, and like and talking to you as an older artist that experienced so much already too, I still feel like you have just started and you just scratched like a new chapter in your life that eventually is gonna open new doors and I'm excited to see that. And I also want to let you know that we are here to support you 100%. Whatever you know, what we already tell you that already too. But like at the end of the day, like I guess what I'm saying that like it's just a new beginning for you, you know, and like I see your where you done already, but like I feel like I'm excited to see, like honestly, like just like 2 years from now, like what have you created and like what you're doing and like what's next, because like I feel like you already understand that you're not just a dancer, you're more than just a dancer now, you know. You're artist that had expanded your artistry to the point where it's like you're bound, your creation is endless now, right? You understand that, because as a dancer, sometimes we already know that we could create movement after movement after movement after movement and do this. But now I feel like in life, I feel like you're kind of related now to who you want to be now as a person, you know. And like I feel like for you to be a person in our community right now that is really choosing to utilize your art to uplift us, and also at the same time looking forward to changing in our community for liberation, straight up, like you say, liberation, for freedom, for understanding to express yourself and so on, and create those balance understanding who we want to be in life. So I'm excited. That's the thing, like straight up, like, and like I'm honored and happy, and big shout out to like Serena, Mayder, like this series has taught me many things about myself, and it has inspired me a lot. So I thank you. I thank all our guests prior to this for just being here to kind of share your story and share your knowledge and insight. And I feel like there's still so much for you. So to our audience that are watching this right now, please check out Shaina Vu. Like Shayna, can you give us your plug, like your YouTube channel, if you have a channel, or where could they find you?
I am like the absolute worst with marketing myself, to be honest. Because like
Artist, the art lifestyle. I know how you feel about that. I'm like that too.
It's yeah, like I don't know how people are like on top of being artists, they're their own like marketers and like their own like business brand and their own like it's crazy. It's crazy the level of like the levels that artists have to do for their work, right? But anyways, sorry, that's a whole other tangent. I'm not the best at marketing my work because I do other work on top of all the stuff that I post. But my Instagram handle is at Shaina Vu, and then my Facebook is at Shaina Vu. My YouTube is at Shayna Vu, but a lot of my work isn't even on my YouTube, which is something I need to work on. Okay. Marketing is hard. Like I think as artists, we all have like very different feelings about like social media and marketing your work and stuff. But
feel you. We're sensitive. You know, right? Artists are sensitive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Straight up. I feel you. I can relate to you. There's a lot of stuff that I don't want to share. So
right.
Okay. Okay. So there you go. At Shaina Vu, straight up, right?
Yeah. Everywhere is kind of just at Shaina Vu on YouTube. You can find
and to our audience right now, I'll give you guys a heads up that check her out, because I feel like honestly, I'm a big fan, Shayna. Straight up, you know, big fan.
I'm a big fan of you guys.
Before we even end this, like I said, we promised we're gonna give away some free giveaways from Seven Dose, because honestly, thank you guys so much, everyone who's been tuning in. Again, this is you know, our way of just honestly connecting with our audience, but at the same time, honestly, just doing our best to really unite us during this time. I mean, this is a hard time. 2020 has been a crazy year, but also if you really find your own silver lining in it, it's been really blessing in a way where we could do stuff like this, and like something I learned from these amazing artists that we have for this series, right? Is that like the conversation never ends, the jam, whatever you do, never ends. So don't ever stop communicating, connecting, loving each other, finding liberation, and finding a way of common ground and understanding who we are as human beings, so on in our life. So again, this is Hmong Hip Hop Heritage. We do our best to kind of bring everyone together to unite, educate, and have a great time. But we're not logging off yet. You want to say something?
I want to say something real fast. I want to shout out to Impact Villain and Gary, though. Like, you guys are doing some fascinating work. Also, Cyborg and oh my gosh, Munch, right? Munch?
Yeah, Munch, yeah.
Okay, cool. Like, seriously though, like, let me just shout you guys out real fast. You guys are doing incredible work for your communities. And I think like this whole intersection is so important to understand as Americans too. And I think like also linking that to the next generation, you guys are amazing role models. You guys are like literally doing like achieving such milestones for our culture, and you guys have been doing that since day one, and thank you guys so much. You guys have kids looking up to you. Like literally I feel like I was a kid looking up to every single one of you guys, including Serena and Mayder. Like you guys, your guys' generation is so awe-inspiring, because I know you guys like had far more barriers than even I did, and that's insane to me, because I feel like it's already hard for my like generation to like break through barriers, but you guys have been breaking through barriers for years now, and like really creating that for our community. And like I said, there are kids that are watching. I'm literally the kid watching you guys too, and like supporting you guys all the time. So thank you guys so much for the work you guys are doing. Like holy heck. Also Serena and Mayder, like you guys are so inspiring as women too. Like I have learned so much about my own identity, my own experience, and who I am just listening to you guys and just like tuning in on these discussions. So thank you guys so much for your guys' work. Like it's inspiring, and I know you guys are like breaking barriers, and it's so cool like being right behind you guys, like supporting you guys and rooting for you guys, because you guys are doing awesome things. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. That means a lot. Straight up.
Thank
I mean,
you,
Shayna.
Speaking from my generation, we see you. Like you guys are freaking tight. You guys are cool.
And in return, we just hope that your generation continue to keep growing. You know, where we've gone, it has not even been that far. You know, so y'all could take it even further than us. So I think if I were to just give back that same kind of love, is just keep going. You know, and I think I'm very proud of you though, Shayna, straight up, and Mayder and Serena. You know, at what this past 3 series has been such a beautiful experience, because we've learned so much. And there's not that many dialogue happening between Hmong men and women, you know? So I think, especially even, I mean, of course, like hip hop, especially in like hip hop and artists is like, I feel like, yeah, you know, even within that, but just in general, there's not that many conversations that Hmong men and women are having. So I find it very special to me having all 3 of you on this discussion, and yeah, just very honored. You know, you already know I'm a fan as well of your work, and if anything, just keep going. I'll be cheering for you. I'll be there with you, and yeah, future collabs. Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm down. Let's go.
You know. Straight up, I mean, I'm only just saying that I love this. I love this. I love the vibe. I love everything. And thank you so much to our audience who's tuning in. I'm gonna give you guys the 3 question. Actually, I'm gonna give you 2. Villains will give you the 3rd one. Whoever answered these and commented, and if I find what we're gonna do right now.
Is this the first comment?
Yeah.
First.
But what we're gonna do right now is whoever answered the right question for these 3, right answer for these 3 questions, whoever type it in the comment. First, I will contact you personally through a message from Facebook and ask you and let you know that you won. Again, these are free giveaways from 7 Dose. Again, this is a way for us to just say thank you guys for tuning in. And then these 3 questions, honestly, is about our amazing guests. So the first question, which I will type in there as well, but for now, the question is, this is based off the first episode of this series, which is about Serena Rimorin. What college did she attend in SoCal? Oh, Villain answered it wrong. If you remember the episode. If you could type that, whoever typed that answer first, yeah, Villain's gonna type that question. You type the question.
Yeah.
So what's happening is you type the answer first, you'll get the gift, and we'll send it free of cost. Okay. All right. The next question is about Mayder lore, right? What was the first hip hop element she pursued, right? And when we talk about hip hop element, in hip hop, there's 4 basic elements. There is DJing, b-boying, MC, and graffiti art. You got that. There's four elements. So if you tune into the second episode, what was Mayder's first hip hop element that she pursued? Right. You pay attention. Okay.
All right.
So if you know the answer, just plug it in there. Okay. And then the third question is about, obviously.
All right. So for Shaina Vu, for those who are tuning in tonight, The third question is, she danced with 4 different dance crews in her bio that I read earlier. Name 2 crews that Shayna Vu danced with.
Oh, wow.
2 out of 4. 2 out of 4.
2 out of 4. And those 2, Villain and Impact, have danced as well with.
Oh,
That's
This is
cool
true.
too. Other than that, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. This has been a great 3-part series of Hmong Hip Hop Heritage. Again, we do this because of you guys, whoever's tuning in right now. Again, we're doing our best just to unite us during this time and hopefully educate you or share some source of insight that can help you in your life to progress and many, many other ways. So, I again just want to thank our guests, Shaina Vu. Thanks so much for closing our series off. Like you, again, I'm only saying you're a perfect ender because you are the future generation that will continue this more above and beyond us. There's many other amazing Hmong dancer out there. Please do your research and support them. I'm not even talking about dancer. I'm talking about MC artists, rappers, to even graffiti artists, to many other amazing artists out there. Yeah, DJs, singers. So please, during this time, happy Hmong New Year. This is a great time to really check in and learn about your artists out there who are really trying to entertain our people. And big shout out to hip hop. We love you guys. Man, this culture has been a beautiful thing that have taught my culture many things and shared many great things to us. So other than that, you guys want to say anything before we sign off? Gary, you want to plug anything?
I don't know. For me, I guess I'll just plug in my Instagram. If you guys have any questions or comments, you guys can find me on Instagram at Gary Yang Official and on Facebook at Gary Y Yang. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it.
Shayna, you want to say anything before we log off?
I've already said, how much I appreciate all of y'all, and that's literally everything that we need to close off on is how amazing you guys are. Like I said, you guys are groundbreaking artists, groundbreaking human beings. You guys are great. Like, you guys are all awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Bill?
For everyone who's been tuning in or watching right now, if you feel inspired, you feel like you want to you feel inspired, you want to go change the world, 2021 is around the corner, so do it.
Yeah,
get on it.
Thank you. Please share this with your friends and family. If you like it, please comment. If you don't like it, please comment. Just what you got to do. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Happy Hmong New Year.
Hey,
and happy Thanksgiving. Peace.